So I've had an idea over the last couple of weeks to go back and recap basically my professional career, starting all the way back in 2017, the first Open I fished as a pro. I fished some as a co-angler prior to that. It never really worked out for me. Did fish with some great anglers that I did learn a lot from. But going into 2017, from looking at the schedule, knowing what I wanted to do for my plan to become a professional angler, that was my best shot at qualifying for the Elite Series. The first tournament we had was Table Rock Lake. It was late March, early April. It's been warming up coming into the tournament. A lot of fish had moved shallow. There were still fish out deep, but it was early. And there was some good quality fish up shallow, so that's the fish that I capitalized on. I'd found fish up shallow in practice leading into the tournament. The water had been warming up steadily every day, and I knew that if I could continue to stay on that type of bite, I could probably do pretty well. And I'll never forget the weights I had. I think I had 11 pounds on day one, even, and no, 13 pounds on day one, 11 pounds on day two, something like that. It may have been 12 and 13 or 11 and 13 or whatever, but I finished with 24 pounds even for 2 days. And that tournament turned out to be really tough because we had a massive cold front blow through right after Wednesday practice finished up. Air temperature dropped down to low 30s, and a lot of those fish that were up shallow, they were still there. We just couldn't get them to bite. I literally had, I think, 5 keeper bites on day one, and was able to capitalize, put all those fish in the live well. And I think I was sitting in the 20s going into day two. But I went out on day two, caught another just good bag of fish, 11 or 12 pounds. I finished in 15th or 16th place for that tournament. What I learned from that is, even though you may have a massive cold front blow through early in the spring like that, a lot of time those fish will stay there. They'll just be more lethargic. They're not going to be as aggressive as they were before the cold front hit. And to literally just put your head down and grind through it, and you'll still get some bites. It may not be as many bites as you were getting while the water was warming, but they're still there, and you can still capitalize on those bites. Day two could have went either way. Mike McClellan ended up winning that tournament, throwing a swim bait to some fish that were in deeper water, and in one of the same areas that I fished in both days. He found the better quality. I think he had 15 or 16 on day one and another 16 or 17 on day two. But that's just, his knowledge of that body of water at that time of year with those cold fronts gave him an advantage over me. Even though I'd been fishing Table Rock for a long time, he'd been fishing it his whole life. So even though I did learn a lot from that tournament, it was one of the few tournaments that I did really well, that I learned a lot and was able to capitalize on what I was doing and catch, and I caught the fish the way I wanted to catch them. I was using a little swing head and a small creature bait in 5 to 10 feet of water most of the time, and just throwing it out, reeling it back real slow, kept it moving the entire time. I think I caught one fish on a chatterbait. Everything else came on that little swing head. But top 20 finish in my first Open. I feel like that was a great finish, and hope y'all like this and follow along. We'll do the next one in a couple weeks.